Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about how to guess the zodiac signs. Now, this one is going to be a general video pertaining to that. However, after this video, I'm going to start making ones dedicated to each individual zodiac sign. So the next one will be how to guess the zodiac signs, but it'll be about Aries, how to guess the zodiac sign Aries. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to talk about in general when you're trying to guess someone's zodiac sign, well, firstly, keep in mind that the masculine signs, which of course they're Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius and Aquarius, they tend to be more extroverted and gregarious. They're the ones that will often initiate the conversations as opposed to the feminine signs. And the feminine signs, of course, they are Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. These signs can often be more reticent, they're more quiet and taciturn, they're generally not as talkative or I should say outgoing or gregarious as the extroverted signs. So one way in order to ascertain if you're trying to guess someone's zodiac sign, well, as far as the personality, you have the introversion versus the extroversion side of things. And also, as far as the appearance, when you look at, like, say, a masculine sign person, keep in mind this is applying to the sun, moon, and ascendant, of course. You may inadvertently guess someone's ascendant, for example, or even sometimes the moon sign, as opposed to the sun sign. The ascendant, of course, dominates the appearance, and very often you may actually guess their rising sign. So if you guess someone's sign, or I'm sorry, if you don't guess the person's sun sign correctly, you still might have gotten their rising sign. So you do get credit for that. That's the way I see it anyway. So as far as the appearance goes, well, the feminine signs tend to have a little softer look. The heads generally aren't as face structure is generally not as strong, and they're not as angular as the masculine signs. The masculine signs tend to be it looks like they have generally stronger like structure with the face. The head tends to be on average a little bit more longer in shape. The structure of the face seems to be stronger, and the cheekbones generally seem to be a little bit more emphasized as opposed to the feminine signs. Now, keep in mind too, I think also, I don't know how many of you agree with this or not, but the masculine signs also, they seem to be a little bit taller in stature on average as opposed to the feminine signs. I mean, think about it. Okay, you got the water trinity with the feminine signs, with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer tends to be diminutive in build very often. Pisces is generally not very large in their build. In Scorpio, well, this seems to vary. They're often about middle stature in terms of their height, but every so often I will see Scorpios that can be a little bit taller. And of course, the ascendant may impact, let's say if their sun sign was Scorpio, say you take actor Matt McConaughey, for example, his sun sign is Scorpio, but he has a Gemini ascendant, and of course, I think he's like 6 foot, which is, of course, taller than average. So obviously, you have to factor everything into the equation. Now, the thing about it is, as far as, and also another thing goes, as far as the appearance goes with this is interesting too, that as far as, I mean, generally when you're meeting somebody, you're not going to be scrutinizing their hands and trying to determine a sign by that. However, if you're one of those people that may do this, well, the hands, as far as the air signs often have like triangular shaped hands, and can be very thin and triangular shape. The fire signs tend to have cone shaped hands. The earth signs tend to have very wide palms and very squarish hands, and the water signs tend to have an oval appearance to their hands. So that's something else to look at. So another thing too is, if you break this down by element, Well, if you look at, first I'll go to the feminine group. Now, the water signs, of course, tend to be the most emotional of the elements, and you look at, I mean, people, especially Cancer and Pisces, they could get emotional very easily. You could see them cry rather readily. Now, many of you may have heard of, I believe she's the mixed martial arts fighter, renowned fighter Ronda Rousey. Now, her moon, now her sun and ascendant are in non-water signs. However, she has moon in Pisces, and she seems to cry rather very readily, very easily. Now, Scorpio could be the exception of this group in the water signs, because Scorpio generally has a more controlled his personality, as far as they may control and suppress their emotions a little bit more than Cancer and Pisces. But when they do come out, you don't want to be around Scorpio when this does happen, because when their emotions are unleashed, it could be very strong, very powerful, of course. Now, as far as the earth signs tend to be more serious as far as the elements go. Taurus is very placid looking. These signs generally take a little bit longer to laugh at something and show a whimsical side than the other elements. People have already joked with me a number of times, and somebody would say, "Oh, that was a joke, by the way." And see, many of you may know, I have Taurus rising, I have Saturn conjunct the ascendant, so I'm very placid, very calm, and very serious type demeanor. And even though I might have gotten the joke, I don't always show it outwardly, and they're just not as jocular, generally speaking, as opposed to the other elements in astrology. Now, if you take the air signs, and the thing about them is that, okay, they are extroverted signs, being masculine signs, but they often are very articulate and have very good speaking abilities, and Gemini will often be talking over others because their thoughts are racing at a more quicker speed than the other zodiac signs, but all three generally have strong literary and communicative prowess and ability. And when you have somebody that's a good conversationalist, it's a very good chance you are in company with one of the air signs. Now, as far as the fire signs go, well, fire signs can be given the fire group. I mean, the name of the group of fire. They can have a fiery temperament. Fire signs often can be disputatious and argumentative. They may come across as a little bit haughty or arrogant. They may feel that their opinions are stronger than most, but they also have very strong leadership abilities. And these are people that can speak. The fire signs tend to be more outspoken and forthright, as opposed to the other elements in astrology. When you have somebody that's very abrupt and makes a lot of outspoken statements, but but generally not malicious, and you could sense it's part of their personality. Well, those people are often those people often have their sun, moon, or ascendant in a fire sign. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment in how to guess the zodiac signs, and stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about how to guess the zodiac sign Aries. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.